Another big decision from the High Court today. The Supreme Court upheld a North Carolina Supreme Court decision on partisan maps. To break it all down for us, attorney Robin Nunn is here with us now. Robin, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, explain the meaning and the impact of this decision.
This is the biggest ruling today. Of course, there's some bigger ones we're expecting later this week, but the Supreme Court has said that the North Carolina state legislature has to let its courts review changes to voting there. This all came up in 2021 when the Republican-controlled legislature said that their court did not have the authority to review the way they drew congressional maps. They pointed to something called the independent state legislature theory, and now the court is saying that that was too broad of an interpretation and that they should allow the courts to intervene. This has widespread meaning because it could be that if they had gone the other way, then each Republican or Democrat controlled legislature would have controlled not just over drawing voting boundaries, but over a number of ways that you could register to vote. Really anything having to do with state controls in the voting process.
What impact could this have on races for Congress?
I think it could have a really, really big impact. I think that what we're seeing is that this is the second decision that this Supreme Court has made this term on voting rights. Remember that they said that Alabama violated Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. So they're upholding voting rights in both of these cases, telling these states that no, they do not have the authority when it comes to redrawing congressional maps. And now we're waiting for bigger decisions to come this week on other topics. But this could have a huge impact on voting decisions, from here to years to come.
And what about the impact on the race for president in North Carolina and beyond?
That is a really good question. I think that this was something that a lot of people feared would have a significant impact if it was decided in any direction. This has really made it such that the courts can be involved and can stay involved. As you recall, obviously there was a big issue after the most recent presidential election with former President Trump filing back in 2020 a number of cases where states courts had a major role to play in saying that the president was not right, or at least not adopting his theory. If they had brought those cases and this case had possibly gone another way, it could have been a real difference in the form of which the states could actually be involved. So this is a major victory for voting rights advocates.
Does this ruling suggest that likely election-related cases, there could be more ahead?
I think it does. I mean, I think there were a number of people who were surprised that they took this case. Some of the dissents in this case said that the issue was a moot already. So it was, quite frankly, some felt unnecessary. But it really does show that, to the extent that voting rights is a critical issue and one that people are aware of, especially going into 2024, that the court is not going to shy away for making rulings on these cases.
Attorney Robin Nunn, thank you so much for joining us. We're watching history happen before our eyes. We appreciate your insight on it.
Thanks so much.